Welcome to episode 21 of the Amiibo Newscast. This week's guest is Josh Brown from the Toys for Games cast. And here are your hosts, Lauren and Amiibo Jason.
Good evening, Amiibo and Nintendo fans. Welcome to episode 21 of the Amiibo Newscast. Our newscast is officially old enough at this point to get wasted. What? You know, we're drinking here right now. I got my cup of coffee. You got your bottle of water.
Yeah, living it up.
We're partying with the newscast right now.
Yeah, we are.
Episode 21. We haven't done this podcast in 3 weeks.
We are very, very sorry from the bottoms of our hearts.
We're not. It was just busy. Very busy. Not to mention, we have one topic, and that's Amiibo. And there's not necessarily like an abundance of Amiibo topics.
Not all the time. And closer to the release of certain waves. But right now, there's kind of like a dry spell.
But we have some good information.
We do.
We have not only Animal Crossing Amiibo and Mii Fighters.
Yes.
Retro 3-pack stuff. We got Skylanders, which I have had to open my heart up and allow in, which was hard for me to do, but now the Skylanders are gracing my shelf. And that was a hard thing for me to do, as I said, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, you seem to have fully embraced them, and I think that's a good thing because they're fun toys.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sit here and claim that I'm an expert on Skylanders, because I'm not going to lie, I suck at everything having to do with them. I think they look cool. We're going to be playing the game soon. In fact, we're going to talk about a promotion we're doing shortly into the podcast. But I had to bring on somebody to help me with this Skylander madness. And that is my friend Josh Brown. You might know him from Toys for Games cast. He is outstanding. How you doing?
I am doing great. How are you guys doing?
Tired?
Yeah.
Ditto. Yes.
I understand.
It's like, what, almost 10 o'clock here in Wisconsin?
Yes.
Got my cup of coffee. Long work day.
Yeah. I think we've all been there.
I went to get some gelato this evening, and the place was closed when it shouldn't have been, so that was a disappointment.
Oh, gosh. Well, the day is just over then.
It was over. I thought I was going to cancel the podcast. I'm like, I needed that gelato. So I had to settle for Dairy Queen, which is kind of like Bush League gelato.
Ooh,
yeah.
Definitely not gelato.
It's not.
Oh, higher-end ice cream, obviously.
But it was good. It was good. I enjoyed the gelato.
Glad.
My daughter enjoyed gelato. I mean, not gelato, Dairy Queen, excuse me. She had like 2 bites of her ice cream, and that was it, which was kind of sad.
Well, she wanted gelato also.
She was disappointed too.
She was.
Yeah.
I had to tell her that the gelato place just had a map on the door to lead me to where the real ice cream was.
That's right.
So she wouldn't think like we were stopping there and disappointed. So that was how I had to convince her that we were still getting ice cream.
Nice.
But we have other things to talk about besides my ice cream adventures, obviously.
Please.
We have Happily Candied here.
Hello, everybody.
And we, this is kind of off topic from the Amiibo subjects, but we're going to talk about it anyway. We were at the Zelda Symphony a couple days ago, which was cool, covering that for NintendoInquirer.com.
Mm-hmm. It was an amazing experience. It was my first time attending a Zelda Symphony. I believe it was Jason's 3rd time there.
Fourth
time.
Fourth
Sorry.
time.
Yeah. He's been to every single one that was in the Milwaukee area.
And one in Chicago.
Yes. Very, very impressive. But I was just blown away by the amazing talent of the musicians, and the conductor was amazing to watch up on stage. Everything is extremely emotional, especially when you see the reactions from the fans in the crowd. It's Nintendo fandom full force. It's everything that you would ever want in a whole auditorium filled to the brim with Nintendo fans.
Now, I wasn't crying during it. I swear, something got my eye during one of the songs, and I wasn't crying. Just a heads up. If anybody saw me, I wasn't crying. It was fun, though, and the cosplayers were there, which was super cool. We got to interview a few of the cosplayers. They had this, honestly, they had somebody who was cosplaying Triforce Heroes, which was, the game's not even out yet, and the cosplay was amazing. That's awesome. We met some cool people, obviously, cosplaying as Link, cosplaying as Zelda. Very, very cool event. Have you had a chance to hit that up yet, Josh?
I have not, no. I've been meaning to, but, life is busy and that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah.
One of these days.
You were probably too busy just with your Skylanders anyway, right?
Yeah, that's all I do is sit at home and play Skylanders.
That's what I was told. In fact, I heard it was going to be hard to get you on the show tonight because I thought you were going to be playing Superchargers all night.
Literally had to unplug my PS4 just so I could log on to Skype and talk with you guys.
We feel honored, by the way.
Yeah.
the PS4 version, that's like the inferior version, right? You can't play as Bowser in that.
No, you cannot, unfortunately.
Why would you want that?
Easier to stream from the PS4.
Yeah, that is true. That is very, very true. And anytime we do a streaming event, we have to lug my desktop into my living room, plug it in, and do it that way. It's a pain in the butt. I just wish we could push a button, but we can't.
No.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But Superchargers is out. It's fun. We went to a midnight release. We picked up 2 starter packs, which is kind of crazy. I never thought that I'd pick up 2 copies of pretty much the exact same game just to get different amiibo. But I did. I got the 3DS version. I got the Wii U version, Dark Edition. So I got the Dark Donkey Kong and the standard Bowser.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which are cool figures. I first saw these things at E3. We did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I wasn't necessarily remarkably sold on them right away. If you go back a few podcasts, you probably could hear me talking about it. But getting the final retail versions in my hand, I liked them.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. And they feel pretty solid.
To be honest, though, my favorite are the Dark Editions. Josh, do you have a favorite?
I don't have the regular versions yet. I'm waiting on those, but I have the Dark editions of the Bowser and Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I think I'm partial to Bowser, but I like Donkey Kong's Barrel Blaster a little bit better as far as a vehicle goes, so you could go either way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Can you I haven't played the game too much yet. Can you throw Bowser into Donkey Kong's vehicle?
Any Skylander will go in any vehicle. It's just when you match them up with their corresponding vehicle, they become supercharged and kind of overpowered. They get a few extra special abilities. So it's it's kind of an optional thing, but it's definitely recommended that you do it, and that's what they want you to do. But it's not necessary. You could put any figure in any vehicle, and everything's okay.
So hence the name Superchargers.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Got it.
So I got to ask, what happens if you take a Amiibo Skylander and try to put it into the PS4 version?
It says it does not recognize this as an actual figure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was hoping for something better than that.
No, like an advertisement for, hey, you should pick up the Wii U version and play that.
Or like
Something.
Solid Snake comes out, or Crash Bandit, something like that. What is the PS4 mascot now? Nathan Drake? Is that the mascot now?
Yeah, that's probably, or Ellie from The Last of Us, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't really have quote unquote mascots anymore. They kind of abandoned that when they let go of Spyro and Crash. So
Yeah, very true.
yeah.
So I want to get your opinion on the game itself, what you think about it. Specifically, let's talk about either the 3DS or the Wii U versions of the game that support the Amiibo.
Yep.
I've had a chance to play it a little bit. Kind of give you guys a quick idea of what's going to be happening in the next few days. So starting Friday, we're going to be doing a promotion with Toys R Us and Activision, where we're going to be essentially offering an exclusive coupon to those who want to buy a starter pack or other Skylanders figures. $15 off if you spend $64.99 or more, which is a good deal. If you are kind of on the fence, if you want to get Skylanders or if you want the Amiibo, but you didn't necessarily want Skylanders, now might be a good time to kind of dive into it. We're going to have some giveaways too, and we're going to be streaming Skylanders for about 4 hours over the weekend, and we are novices at this game. I've picked up the 3DS racing version, and I've played that a bit. It's kind of fun. It's very reminiscent of Mario Kart, even more reminiscent, I think, of Diddy Kong Racing with the airplanes. Mm-hmm. But I've only played a tiny bit of the Wii U version. So I'm going to let you kind of explain to our Amiibo fans out there what this is all about.
Sure. So, like you said, like the 3DS version and the regular Wii version, which is actually still a thing, one of 2 Nintendo Wii games to come out this year is Skylanders Superchargers. And of course, people would only pick that up for the Dark Edition starter pack, which was the only place you could actually get the Dark Edition of Bowser and his Clown Cruiser vehicle. They did not make a Dark Edition starter pack for the 3DS.
Ooh.
Right. But if you bought the regular 3DS version, the only 3DS version, or the regular Wii pack, you could get the regular Bowser and his vehicle. So at least you had an option to pick up one or the other with those. But if you wanted the Dark Edition, you had to go for the Wii version, which instantly makes it the highest selling Wii game of the year. Almost by default, but definitely because of that.
I thought it was Backyard Baseball. I thought that was coming back on the Wii this year.
That would be fantastic. I can't wait.
I can feel the enthusiasm. Right
now with
there.
Amiibo support.
That completely threw me off. So the Wii version and the 3DS version, like you said, just have the racing. They are stripped down versions of the regular game. They are, like, the official title of the game is Skylanders Superchargers Racing. It is very similar, like you said, to Diddy Kong's Racing. Those two versions, they do have a few extra tracks that you wouldn't get in the normal game that you could find on, like, the Wii U. So it's a little bit beefed up. It's not 100% just a stripped down port of those. They give you a little bit extra, but not insanely too much, like you're not buying the Wii version and saying, oh my gosh, look at all this great content I'm getting from this version of the game. The 3DS version, of course, is great because it's a handheld, and you could play it on the go and whatnot. The Wii U version is the full-fledged game, just like you could get on the other consoles. The racing is only part of the game. The rest is like the adventure mode, where it's very much like Gauntlet, if you guys are familiar with that.
Yeah.
You just kind of run around, smash things, break stuff open.
Oh yeah.
Collect the gold and the treasure that comes out of everything that you're smashing. The enemies just kind of continue to pour on until you defeat them, and then you can move on to the next area. You have to find keys to open gates and that kind of stuff. So it's very linear. This game, for the first time, it feels a little bit more open. It feels like there's more paths you could take, and it's not. You don't feel like your cattle being herded down this narrow corridor towards the end of the level. There's a little bit more exploration involved, but it's definitely geared towards the younger audience, to prevent kids that are playing it from being frustrated when they play, because sometimes games get a little too carried away with that element of searching for things and trying to find things, and younger minds, they could get lost easily and kind of forget what they're supposed to be doing, or
that
how
happens to me every day.
Right.
I don't think I could handle that.
Young minds.
So, this game sounds amazing.
Right. So it does direct you, but it does allow you to kind of move at your own pace. There's many different skill levels that you could choose from, difficulty levels. So you could pick super easy. You could go all the way up to the super difficult, which isn't ever recommended unless you've kind of already played through the game and leveled up some of your Skylanders, because they will be dramatically underpowered if you try the expert mode right off the bat. But this game is the first Skylanders game to introduce the vehicles, which we all know by now, which adds a very unique and different element to the game. The starter packs, every starter pack comes with one ground vehicle. And that's really the only vehicle that's required to finish the entire game. You could play, and that's what's great about all of these Toys to Life games, is whatever comes in the starter packs is all you need to technically beat the game. Nothing is necessarily behind a paywall. There are things that you will need to purchase additionally if you want to, say, 100% the game. But 100%ing the game is far different than beating the game. Beating that final boss, you could do with everything that comes in that starter pack, which is really cool.
So is it like Disney? I saw with Disney Infinity, at least in the first one, if you had every figure unlocked, you got like a lightsaber. Did they do something like that in this game? If you buy every single toy, scan them in, you get something special, something like that, like a bonus level?
No, there's a way to keep track of it in game, and see which characters you have, and which vehicles you have. But there's no super secret bonus unlock or anything like that. No.
So I know what the Amiibo fans want to talk about at this point is, because I'm sure they're completely done talking about like the Skylanders portion of it, because it does sound cool, but I know what people want to know. Is there going to be any more Nintendo specific characters coming out for this game that you foresee?
Not for this game. They've never, this is their 5th year. They've never released a figure after the initial announcement of the figures. So,
I never knew that.
Yeah.
So I kind of just assumed that all year. They just say, okay, here's a new character.
Yeah, same here.
But we already know about them.
Oh, you already do? Okay.
Yeah. So all the figures are already announced, and they want you to know, as a parent or somebody that's buying the game, whatever, they want you to know what you're getting into investment wise.
Yeah.
So they were very clear that there's 20 figures and 20 vehicles. Once you start getting into the variants and stuff, that adds a bunch more, obviously, but they're the same character just with different paint jobs, a la the red Japanese Rob.
Don't talk about that right now.
Does the same thing, but it looks different, and you kind of want it.
Oh my god, we're going to talk about that later in the cast, by the way, because there's a story behind that's very sour in my mind right now. So we'll keep talking Skylanders right now.
First of all, I actually have a question for you, Josh.
Yes.
Do you think that Bowser and Donkey Kong were perfect characters to use for Skylanders Superchargers, or would you have rather seen one or two other characters instead?
I like the ones they chose because they seem to be the biggest and the most heftiest characters,
yeah.
and that kind of fits in with the Skylanders, especially this game where the characters are quite a bit bigger than like the normal core characters that they've had in the past.
Okay.
So picking Donkey Kong and Bowser seemed to fit in with like the size. It would be weird to kind of scale up a Mario,
yeah,
Link or something to make them seem bulkier than they are.
Yeah.
They didn't have to change their appearance too much to make it fit into the overall aesthetics that they're going with the game.
Okay, I figured there was probably a very specific reason because they're obviously the girthier characters among all the Nintendo characters.
Yeah.
So now that you say that, it makes a lot of sense.
Man, I want a Birdo Skylander. That would be amazing.
That
Just
would be
a massive Birdo Skylander.
Yeah. But going back to your previous question, like I don't see them coming out with any more characters this game. I think if it's successful, this partnership between Nintendo and Activision, I could foresee it happening again in some form or fashion. I don't see it happening with the Superchargers game, but I think the door is wide open right now for that crossover to continue and grow even more so.
I think my favorite thing at this point is we were researching an episode of Did You Know Gaming that just aired about Amiibo. And during our research, we found out that Activision approached Nintendo about 6-7 years ago saying, we want to do this Toys to Life venture. Nintendo turned it down. Thought it was interesting, but they turned it down.
Right.
And now we're kind of full circle. Nintendo has Amiibo, Activision has Skylanders, and now they're kind of merged together into one for this game, which is kind of neat.
It is. I like that story.
Oh, yeah, it's very, very cool.
It is. Yeah. It's a cool story. Happy ending.
Yeah, it was going to be a Nintendo exclusive. They saw the Wii, they saw how many homes the Wii console was in. They saw the key demographics for the Wii, and they said, we have this game. This would be great to market it to the demographic that you guys already have. And Nintendo's like, oh, it's cool, but we're kind of doing our own thing, And so they were like, okay, well, we'll just go multi-platform with it. And it always sold incredibly well on the Wii, and then on the Wii U once it came over to that. So, they're still happy with sales. But yeah, definitely interesting where this all could have, gone if a decision was made differently back then.
It's a cool game. So it pains me to say that because just at E3, I was cringing talking about Skylanders. But here I am owning 2 copies of the game. Right. I've played them both. They're both fun. Again, if you're interested in the game, you're not quite sure, you were kind of on the edge if you wanted it or not, check out our website on Friday. This coming up Friday. What is that? The 9th?
Yes.
Yep, the 9th. We're going to have a coupon for $15 off your starter pack if you want to get one. And we're going to be doing giveaways for some starter packs too. So that's our Skylanders portion. We talked like 20 minutes about Skylanders.
Scary.
Record breaking.
Crazy.
I remember embracing you at E3, like holding you because you were crying about having to buy into Skylanders because of the Amiibo crossover. Like you were devastated. And now look at you. You're smiling and laughing. And good times.
One of my favorite E3 moments, the expression on Jason's face.
The worst part about it is Skylanders came out on September 20th, and my birthday was on the 19th. I skipped out of part of my birthday party to go to a Toys R Us midnight launch to go pick up these Skylanders. So this is what you did to me.
It's all you, Josh. It's all on you.
It's your fault.
I'll take the blame. It's for the best.
Right. Let's talk Amiibo. We got restocks. Restocks have happened. I cannot wait to talk about the restocks. We went to Toys R Us on a whim, kind of a whim. I mean, there was already news that restocks were happening. And we found out that Little Mac, Captain Falcon, Lucario, Greninja, Fox, all getting restocked at Toys R Us. And from what I heard, that it happened around noon. And I kind of assumed by the time I would get there, I think I got there at like, 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
9 o'clock, something like that they would be completely sold out, but they weren't. They had so many of them. So Nintendo announced not too long ago that they were going to be doing restocks of all of these unicorn-esque amiibos. And they kind of really pulled through. I mean, Toys R Us had a huge amount. Many Toys R Us still has completely amazing stock on all of these figures. And even more so, Best Buy, from what I understand, starting this evening and going into tomorrow, has an outstandingly massive stock of Marth, Little Mac, Captain Falcon, Fox, Greninja, Shulk, all of that.
And Dark Pit.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
And that's kind of a story in its own, that you're seeing Lucario, Greninja, and Shulk showing up at other stores besides where they were exclusives. So the exclusivity deal on those are over, which is outstanding. I think we're going to see that soon with Ness.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe on the Retro 3 pack at some point too. It kind of gives me hope that at some point we're going to see Rob, Mr. Game & Watch, and Duck Hunt Dog, and Duck Hunt Duck. Duck Hunt Duo. I think
Duo. It's the duo.
I want to call it Duck Hunt Duck.
It's a little repetitive.
No. It's Duck Hunt Duck.
It's not going to stick.
It's going to stick.
You're
Duck
just
Hunt
going to be
Duck.
the only one pushing
That's
it.
fine. I'll push it. We might see individual releases of those at some point too, which I think is really cool.
It is.
But the restocks happened. They're happening as we speak. They're going to be happening tomorrow. Somebody sent us a picture of this Best Buy store.
It was incredible.
Yeah, it had like 60 Marths.
Yeah.
Probably 25 Little Macs, like 25 Captain Falcons.
It was this beautiful wall mural of Amiibo.
It's kind of spectacular, but it kind of begs the question. I think a lot of the Amiibo madness had to do with the scarcity, and I think we might be hitting that point where it's going to kind of die down a bit.
Yes.
And I'm curious to see what Josh has to say about the scarcity of Amiibo kind of going away to a certain extent.
I think it's okay. I see less anger and vitriol about everything these days, especially with the restocks. Obviously, it's still there a little bit, but once people have them, especially the ones that they want, people will kind of relax and enjoy the Amiibo that they have. My biggest worry is that people will start going the opposite way, where now that everybody has these once rare and hard to get Amiibo that they have and they coveted so much, they're not going to feel like they have anything special anymore.
Yeah.
And it's going to go that reverse circle of, well, everybody has it. This isn't fun, Can't please everybody, but it's awesome. I love seeing full shelves and all these Amiibo that most of America has never actually seen in the wild. They're walking into stores and finding them. That's what it should be.
Yeah,
I agree. And my ideal scenario is this, but like you, I think that rarity is completely necessary in a collecting hobby like this one. So I really would like to see in the future, when Amiibo are released, one or two once in a while. They are harder to get, and they're done. It's done purposefully, though. Mm-hmm. It's not done just because by accident there weren't enough restocks, or or not just restocks, but in the initial release there weren't enough to go around. But I think that there should be that thrill that people can experience. So I'd like to see that, with eventual releases.
Make it a variant or a chaser.
Yes.
So like Gold Mario. I mean,
Yes.
Gold Mario I think Gold Mario popped back up in stock in this weird bundle that Walmart was doing a couple days
That
ago.
was so weird.
It was so bizarre. Like, where did this come from? But I like the idea of having a figure that you can get that's, standard and regular, that does the exact same thing as the variant. The variant just looks different. Mm-hmm. That part I'm fine with. But I agree with Lauren. I like the idea of scarcity. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of rarity. part of the reason why I'm kind of a little bit bummed about the Animal Crossing cards is that there doesn't seem to be any kind of scarcity to them. It's just randomized cards.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see like a gold Isabelle card or something like that. Some sort of scarcity to it.
There should be kind of like a slope of scarcity, I
Yeah.
think. The super commons, the kind of like medium, and then the super rare ones. And that's something as collectors I think we could appreciate.
Yeah. But when it comes to like Smash Bros, I totally get it. I mean, the whole point of the Amiibo was, what is your favorite character in Smash Bros? Pick up the Amiibo, train it, have a good time. And if yours was Marth and it was gone completely after the first month, I mean, it's not your fault that you liked the rare one, right? You still want to get it.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. I hope Nintendo does some interesting things coming in the future with variants, and I think they're going to. Nintendo likes money, and that's one thing I've realized over the past couple months, because they've gotten so much of mine, it's not even funny. But, I would love to see like a different color of Mega Yarn Yoshi or something like that. That would be like limited. I know you want pink so
I want
bad.
it so badly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so upset that there's still no word of one, but maybe someday.
You can always dye it.
I was thinking of ways that I could customize it, but it would have to be a very, very tricky dye job.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be able to pull
I
it
don't
off.
know if I'd be comfortable like putting a Mega Yarn Yoshi like up on the table to do that.
Yeah.
Like in case something goes terribly wrong.
I think there are other methods that I could explore, but I just don't know if I'd want to risk it with such a beautiful piece to begin with.
So are you going to dip your Mega Yarn Yoshi
I
into
would
like
not-
a gigantic...
I wouldn't dip. I'd have to explore other mediums, I think, in order to. I would never be able to just outright dye.
No, I was not that. I was going to say because with your pink Yarn Yoshi, you dumped it into like your mixed drink.
Yeah, my
when we
mixed
were
drink.
in,
Yeah, that was by accident. I
at
didn't
St. Jude, yeah.
I didn't do that purposefully, but it turned out well in the long run because there's a great story behind my Amiibo.
But more or less, the restocks happened. They're happening now. I think Toys R Us sold out, at least in the Milwaukee area where we are. They sold out of most of their rare ones. So I saw on my local Craigslist that people are already jacking the prices up on these. So I think
course.
scalpers got a hold of them already. So I'm okay with the restocks. I just hope in the future Nintendo decides to go a different route with the variants as well. We still don't have any kind of concrete details if modern 8-bit Mario is coming to the US outside of that bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's one of the variants that we could see.
Could be.
But I mean, in Canada, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
go on Amazon right now and get one for $20 from Japan. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think scarcity is not what it used to be.
No,
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
But who knows? It's evolved already so far. It's been less than a year since
Yeah.
Amiibo have been released. So who knows where we'll be at this time next year?
Oh, yeah. Good
They
point.
are still trying to figure it out. They went from drastically underestimating how things would take off with them, and possibly creating and generating some interest by keeping them hard defined, and now they're going in the complete opposite direction and just like throwing them out there as much as they possibly can. So they're going to settle in, and they're going to find that nice cushion for them to make them feel special, like when you walk in and find one, but not to the point where people are so angry all the time.
Yes.
Very true.
Yeah.
I know we were going to save this for one of our last topics, but this kind of mixes into where we are now with the Retro 3-pack. So the Retro 3-pack came out, and it is everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere. You go into a GameStop, and they told me the last one I went to, like, we got 50 of these things in the back right now. I remember when they announced it's going to be, you better get to your GameStop early. We're having this event at 9 o'clock. You have to come in and pre-order it and blah, blah, blah. So we did. So did a bunch of other people. Everybody thought it was going to be super rare, super hard to get. And lo and behold, you can still buy it pretty much anywhere. So I think that's kind of an idea of where we're heading with Amiibo. Did you pick up a Retro 3-pack, by the way?
Yes. Yep.
Big fan? You like it?
I love it. I'm holding Mr. Game & Watch right now.
Ooh, which one?
The scoreboard, of course.
Nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
I really wish that they would come out with some additional blank bases so we could display all the other ones. I think that would sell gangbusters, because I am so tempted to buy 3 more retro packs just to have the bases, to have them all displayed.
Etsy has them everywhere.
yeah.
Oh, really?
People are
Okay.
3D printing them. I mean, they don't look as good,
Yeah.
but they look pretty good. I mean, they're decent 3D print jobs of these. One person the Amiiglo. I think they're called Amiiglos. The ones that make the Amiibo mods that have like LEDs in them. They're very, very cool. They made a base that houses all 4 of them on it.
Cool.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah. I like that. And, maybe if we see more releases in the future with just a single Amiibo with interchangeable Amiibo figures, maybe we'll see Nintendo actually release something like the bases.
Yeah.
I think what they would need first is they would just need more variety with the Amiibo first. They're not going to do it for just one release so far.
Yeah.
I got bad news, guys. My coffee's gone. No. So thank God we're done with that topic because we're going to be moving on to Animal Crossing.
Yes, I've been waiting for this.
So as you talk about Animal Crossing, I might get coffee.
Oh,
more
wow.
coffee.
You're just going to let me ramble.
You're good at talking about Animal Crossing. I mean, it's the one thing that I know that you have like more knowledge than anybody else about.
Well, what shall we start off with first? We have probably the biggest topic, which was the release of everything, Happy Home Designer and the bundles and the Amiibo cards.
And how much of all those things did you buy?
I bought the new 3DS bundle.
Yep.
Because I was really excited about one of the cover plate designs. And I also bought a bunch of Amiibo cards.
When you say a bunch, I think you're not really giving the folks at home kind of an idea of how many you got.
I'm not. I think over the span of the last, what's it been, like about a week and a half or so, I think I've gotten...
I think like 30 packs.
30 packs or so. And with our collections combined, we have a full set, which is pretty nice. A full set of Series 1.
I got 29.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice.
What do you need? We'll hook you up.
Yeah.
We're missing like 17 or so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of the 29 packs, so not too many.
We bought 6 more packs today.
Yes.
And we only got 2 cards we didn't have out of it.
But they were both special cards, so it kind of makes up for it, But yeah, it was an amazing release day. It was probably one of my very favorite release day experiences because there was a little bit of a mix-up at midnight. But our GameStop was very nice, and they stayed open for us. We were, in fact, able to get it hours earlier than we thought we would be able to.
There's a fun story behind that, by the way,
that
we should talk about.
That's why it's one of my favorite gaming experiences.
I'm going to let you tell this story.
Okay.
It's a good story.
It is a good story. So about a week before the release, Jason told me that, hey, there's this basketball game coming out the
NBA
same
2K16?
night. That's the one. And it's coming out. They're going to do a midnight release for it at GameStop, and that so happens to be the same night that Happy Home Designer is getting released.
And the Retro 3-pack?
Yes. So we could actually go into GameStop and pick them up while we're there, while all the basketball fans are going to be in line.
Well, I think we call them the frat boys.
Yes, I think.
While the frat boys are picking up their game.
We're going to be there for our villagers and all of our cutesy little items. But so that was the plan. My friend Jen, who is the developer for Nintendo Enquirer, was coming in from out of town. We arranged it around this release so we would be able to go and pick up Happy Home Designer together. So Jen flies in from Las Vegas, and we go, and we're so excited. We wake up Thursday morning with these huge smiles on our faces. We're so set and ready to go at midnight that night. We plan to get Starbucks ahead of time and just wait outside that door. So let's see, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I get a call from Jason. He goes, "Lauren, you better sit down." And I'm thinking he's messing with me. I'm thinking, oh, he has good news, but he doesn't. He's like, Nintendo won't let GameStop sell it early. And what had happened was the other game, the NBA game, they wanted to do this like nationwide like release that happened at the same time. So technically it would be happening at 11 p.m. So there would be an hour until midnight. So we wouldn't really be able to go in and get our Animal Crossing items. So our faces fell. The rest of the day, we were somber. It was terrible.
We were talking about like going to Walmart and like hoping against hope that somebody there at midnight knew what we were talking about and we might be able to get them there.
Yes. I mean, we were trying to think of every single alternative plan so we could get Animal Crossing just a couple hours earlier than we could. So what happened was later that night, I went out to dinner, went out shopping with Jen, and we happened to stop in the mall GameStop where I live. And luckily the guy there, he kind of knows me. And as it so happens, we were talking. He's like, oh yeah, we're collaborating with the other GameStop, which is where I had my pre-order made. He's like, let me call. We'll see. Maybe we'll probably be open. So yeah, you could swing by. And we're like, oh my God, is this really happening? So we're stoked. He's on the phone for like 5 minutes. He's like, yeah, you can come by at midnight. So then it's funny because at the same time, Jason had actually called the other GameStop and he was on the phone with the other employee. So we, without even knowing it, we were kind of like collaborating. And right after both of us did that, we called each other. We're just like, oh my God, this is really happening.
And it turned out we were the only people there. So they stayed open an hour late for us to get all the stuff, and nobody else showed up. So
yeah, and they even gave us a huge box of Topper's pizza sticks.
That was nice.
That was very nice.
That was left over from the frat boys.
Yeah, it was. But that was, I went with my two best friends, and I got these gaming items that I've been wanting for months. So it was one of the best gaming experiences. I'm so glad I went, and I love the game. I love the game so much. Jason's been seeing me play Happy Home Designer, and I spent 3 days designing my bakery. 3 days.
It's excessive. It's a bit excessive.
Yeah, I'm a little obsessed with it.
Only Lauren can convince a GameStop store that already said they weren't going to stay open to stay open. So.
I gave him the biggest puppy dog eyes, and I was
ridiculous.
I was tearing up earlier today. Is there any way you could fix this, please? And he was so sweet, and he
I wonder why. I don't have that effect on people.
You're cuter in person.
I am cuter in person. That
cuter.
is very true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the Amiibo interaction with the game. I really do. There are several ways that you can use the Amiibo cards with the game. And one of them is by going into the office where your character works, and you can scan in the cards there and choose which villager's house you want to design. And that's really fun because there right now are 100 characters that you could choose from. And you can't design all the houses. Like, for instance, you can't design, I don't think, like, can you design Digby's house and Isabel's house?
I don't think so.
There are restrictions for those.
You can do KK Slider's house.
You can do KK, yeah. So you just try them out. You can do usually all the villagers' houses, which is pretty cool. And then one of the other big Amiibo functions is after you design a character's house, you can scan in Amiibo while you're in the house, and they'll visit. And I believe they add like items and stuff, item options that you can use throughout the game. It's really cool the way that they've integrated Amiibo, especially Amiibo cards, into the game because Amiibo cards are easy to take around with you, and Happy Home Designer is one of those games that you can just pick up for a couple minutes and put down, unless you're me and you want to spend a couple days on like one project. But it is something that's very easy. You can pick up and put down whenever you want, and that's what the Amiibo cards are for. They're there to travel with, and they're there with you to just kind of have fun with and have fun with friends with.
It's not the first time that Nintendo has done this kind of thing with cards in Animal Crossing. So
yeah.
They had the e-reader back in the day. I'm showing my age at this point, but maybe a couple of you out there remember the e-reader for the Game Boy Advance. There was a series of Animal Crossing cards for that. I think they had like 2 or 3 series of that as well. I was collecting those when I was growing up too. So
nice.
I never used them in the game. I just wanted to collect them because they were kind of cool. But yeah, I'm actually getting sort of some kind of use out of this at this point, which is kind of neat. Josh, I know you said you were collecting them as well. Are you satisfied with what they're bringing to the table right now? Or are you just more collecting them at this point?
So I'm not necessarily collecting them for me. They are definitely for my fiance, who is also the owner of Happy Home Designer. That is her game that she's playing. I haven't really touched it much. I just don't have time for that. But she's totally in love with it. She's totally in love with the cards. She loves scanning in the cards. She didn't want to go to the new 3DS. As much as she loves Animal Crossing, like we had this discussion, she didn't want to get the Animal Crossing version of the new 3DS because it's the smaller one. She's playing on the XL now, and she was afraid of going down in size as far as the screen goes. So got her the bundle with the NFC reader, which isn't as convenient as being able to just tap them onto your 3DS, of course, but it's small enough to where you don't have to lug it around in a suitcase or anything like that. So she likes playing with them. She has really enjoyed scanning them in, building homes for them, and just she really just likes the collecting of the cards also. Like, she loves the look of them, the feel of them, everything. So
they're worth it. They're good quality and they're fun.
Yeah.
If you have the Happy Home Designer Amiibo Collector's Book, of course, it makes it even better.
Yes.
Which is kind of new. Some of you might not know about this, but Nintendo of America kind of went around the whole like selling process. In Europe, they came out with this amazing, it's not out yet, but you can pre-order it, this amazing collector's book for the Animal Crossing Series 1 cards. For some reason, Nintendo of America decided to make their album a promo item. They were only giving them away at the Nintendo World Store. They were giving them away at like Nintendo events around the country. We were lucky enough to get our hands on a few, which are cool. We're doing a giveaway for one right now. What do you think about that? I mean, do you find it kind of bizarre at this point that Nintendo wasn't selling these alongside like the cards themselves? Like, you would think they would want some kind of really cool, unique. In fact, it doesn't look like it would cost a lot to mass produce these things. Mm-hmm. They would make a fortune on these things. Yeah. Every Happy Home Designer fan that I know would have bought one of these books. It's very, very odd. It's
a wasted opportunity, if you ask me. And if anything, if not this series, by series 2, they really need to bring them out here. It's one of those things where it makes sense. Not even just for money, even though to me it would be obvious that it's going to really rake in the money anyway. But it just makes sense you have collector cards. You have a matching collector album.
It's just a binder. What is going on? Why are we not selling these here?
I don't know. Maybe like I always say, they could be testing the waters with a promotional item. Or maybe it's just we haven't seen it yet. I think it's still very possible. This is very early on. And Nintendo of America tends to be a little bit delayed with a lot of obvious releases.
So we posted this on Twitter yesterday, and I almost immediately got a message from Mr. Brown asking where he can get one. So obviously, it sounds like your fiance wants one of these bad.
Yes.
Oh,
working on it.
Yes,
working on it.
Do you think it was just a matter of them not wanting to oversaturate the market with Animal Crossing stuff, and or being worried about shelf space? Because that was kind of their issue when Amiibo came out, was worrying about shelf space, and they had
correctly then.
One of my go-to answers for all of this is usually shelf space, because they have like the Amiibo themselves are taking up like so much room right now. Right. On top of that, we have all the different limited edition systems and all that stuff. So yeah, I think that could be a very, very obvious answer. But yeah, I agree with Jason. Why not sell it in the Nintendo store online?
Nintendo doesn't sell faceplates in any stores right now except online.
Yeah.
Just put this online. Right. It makes no sense that they don't.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I mean, I can't complain too much because I love the fact that this is so rare and we have them. But I guess that's me just being a jerk. So.
Yeah.
But there's actually even more Animal Crossing stuff to discuss at this point. Yes. So the NFC reader came out finally, which is kind of cool. If you have the old 3DS, you can scan the cards on there. You can scan the Amiibo into Smash Bros. It's kind of cool. Takes 2 AA batteries. It's pretty straightforward.
It's very light in the hands.
It's very light.
And like Josh mentioned, it's very easy to transport. So if you have your XL with you, or a past 3DS and you want to link it up there, you can just put it in your carrying case or wherever with your system, and it's good to go.
Yeah. But I think the biggest news that we've had so far is we have a release date finally for Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival on the Wii U. That's coming out November the 13th, which is very, very cool. We actually get it a week before anybody else does, which, yay, USA, go team. But they also announced 4 new Amiibo in the line. We have Kix, Rossetti, Celeste, and Blathers. They are coming out December 17th in Japan. No word whatsoever if they're coming to the United States. They're coming to the US. I mean, obviously they're coming.
They're coming. I would love to see a holiday release for these. I hope that it's around December 17th, but I'm not holding my breath at this point because there's usually at least a month delay between releases sometimes.
Sometimes.
So I'd love to see a holiday release because I want Kix very badly.
But at the same point too, when Mario Party came out, they released the Mario Party Amiibos. Yeah. And by the time a Series 2 could have conceivably happened, nobody cared about Mario Party anymore. Not to mention Mario Party 10 was a disaster. It was horrible and I hated it.
I liked Mario Party 10. There was a previous Mario Party that I didn't like. I want to say it was 6 or 7 and I can't remember. It was so long ago and I think I just tried to bury it in the back of my mind.
I just think Nintendo is going to want to get these out as quick and as soon as they can while this game is still hot. So that's what I'm thinking at this point. I'm thinking we're going to see it this year. I'm guessing right around the same time as Japan's going to see it.
Okay.
I mean, no matter what, we're going to be importing these anyway if they don't come out.
Yes.
So we'll have it like day one anyway. So, but what does that leave us with? 10? Is there 10 official Amiibo then at this point?
That'd be 12.
Is it 12 official Animal Crossing Amiibo?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be broke.
They're beautiful though. They're really
very
are.
cool.
I can tell that with the quality we've seen increased as Amiibo waves have been released. I can see that these are going to be really, really well done.
Rossetti's so cute.
Is there anything funnier than his little legs? Honestly,
I have to see them. I have to see
I wanted
them
to see him in his hole.
You're right. Why didn't I ever pay attention to that before?
that is the weirdest and funniest thing
It is.
I've ever seen on an Amiibo.
Oh, that's so fun. I can't wait to see it in person now.
I would have liked to see like a little hole as a stand, like
Yeah.
as a little base that he was popping out of.
Oh.
And why doesn't he look angry? Why is he not pissed off right now?
All they would have needed to do was furrow his eyebrows a little bit more. They're not furrowed though. He actually looks kind of content.
He looks way too calm
Yeah.
for Rossetti.
Yeah.
I guess people are saving the game. I guess that's what's happening.
I guess this calls for a custom Amiibo.
I think so. So that does it for, I think, the Animal Crossing stuff
It
at
does.
this point. It's huge amount of
Yes.
content, though.
Yes, lots. And, if you see the cards in your stores, I recommend picking them up right now because we are still running into a bit of a shortage in our area. So once we see them in stores, we kind of just run out right away and we get them.
I'm done. I'm not buying any more packs.
That's what he said about 3 days ago. And then we got 6 packs today.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear what happened in Japan with the Animal Crossing cards?
No.
So Series 2 was supposed to be coming out, but they actually delayed Series 2 in Japan so that they could remanufacture more Series 1 because they just didn't meet demand when Series 1 came out. So they're working on replenishing that because, they were sold in packs of 3.
Yeah.
Most stores got enough to sell 1 per customer, and that was about it. And after launch day, most people couldn't find them anywhere. They weren't around. So word on the street is that they're reworking on coming out with more of Series 1 before they move on to Series 2, which I appreciate that.
Yeah. I love the idea that we have 6 here compared to the 3 that they
Yes,
had
thank
in
goodness.
Europe and in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much nicer.
Yeah.
It is.
So,
Yeah.
well, thank God we're done with Animal Crossing.
Oh, no, I miss it already.
Oh, whatever. Next month we'll have an entire episode dedicated to Amiibo Festival.
I can't
Please be
wait.
a good game. For God's sakes, be a good game. I'm going to be investing almost $250 on Amiibo figures to get this game. It better be a good game. Whatever. I'm not taking them out of the box anyway. You know me.
Complain.
Okay. So, Mii Fighters are Toys R Us exclusives. Who broke that news?
Yeah, who was it again?
This Twitter handle I know, Toys for Games, I think.
Oh, man. Is that kind
Yeah.
of like Amiibo News?
Kind of. I mean, they accidentally break news. They don't try as hard.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you break the news on this
Yes.
one about the Toys R Us 3-pack.
Sure. We had a listener of ours who randomly just sent a tweet. And I try to pay attention and at least read when people tweet at us. I don't get to reply to everybody, but I do my best. And I just kind of glanced down at my phone when it came through, and it said, "Did we already know about this?" And I couldn't see the picture from just the initial message. So I opened it up, and lo and behold, there's a picture of a kiosk at Toys R Us showcasing the Mii Fighters with the only at Toys R Us tags attached to them. And I immediately went into a frenzy, and I was going crazy in my head trying to remember if we knew that or not. And I did some quick research. I immediately went to Twitter and to Amiibo News to see if Amiibo News had broken any news regarding the Mii Fighters being exclusive. Amiibo News had not. So I ran with it as sort of breaking news, but I was still kind of searching for confirmation from somebody else if I was just caught up in the moment or if it was, a thing that people already knew about, and for some reason I had just forgotten about it and it wasn't a big deal. But judging by the reaction I got immediately from everybody, turns out that was our first official confirmation of that exclusive. So,
And I just want to point this out quick. people made a huge deal about this when the news broke about the 3-pack being an exclusive to Toys R Us, and the feedback was almost exclusively negative, which is bizarre to me. Toys R Us has always handled their Amiibo line or their Amiibo launches very, very well. The last 2 events that we've gone to has been remarkably organized. Their stock has been through the roof. Everybody that waited in line got exactly what they wanted. I think it was 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And you were pretty far back in line. And they had a surprise Marth restock.
Yes.
And you totally got a Marth.
I did. They had plenty to go around. In fact, I think everybody in line up until the point when they opened was able to get one. And then right before I left, I grabbed my Marth. They only had 2 left on the shelf to go. But yeah, I was very, very impressed and very surprised that they had the restock because that was not planned at all.
And the stock numbers kind of got leaked not too long ago. In fact, I think it was earlier today. And most Toys R Us stores are getting between like 80 and like 200 of these 3-packs.
Wow.
So it's not like these things are going to be in crazy, like, demand at this point.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that people are concerned about is not every area has a Toys R Us.
Yeah.
And they did not put Bowser Jr. online whatsoever. So some people were just kind of SOL. That's kind of lack of a better word. So they had to either buy it online, get a friend to pick it up at Toys R Us for them. I think we've had a couple people say, I don't have a Toys R Us within 100 miles of me.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe we'll see this thing go up online at some point too.
That would be nice.
But Toys R Us does a great job. Honestly, they are amazing when it comes to Amiibo launches.
Yeah, that's why we actually stopped going to other retailers.
Yeah.
If we can.
There's no point.
No, there isn't. And we try to hit up Toys R Us for all, or at least the majority of the Amiibo on release day.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I've said before, I don't mind the retail exclusives. The only caveat to that is when you don't have that store near you anywhere, and if they don't go up online, then like you said, that's a bummer for those people. But unfortunately, Nintendo makes a lot of money from these deals that they make with retailers for having exclusive items, and that's not going to go away anytime soon. So they do the best they can. I would like to see them go online, but can't please everybody.
Very true. But either way, it's coming to Toys R Us exclusively this November, so keep an eye out for that. We'll let you guys know if it turns up to, online anywhere at this point. I'm guessing we're going to see in-store only again, but who knows? You never know.
Very true.
That covers it. That covers all of our Amiibo and Skylander related content that we had for the evening, which is kind of crazy. I mean, this was one of our longer casts, so we haven't been on the air for about 3 weeks.
Yes,
so.
yeah. So it's nice kind of being able to wrap everything up.
Yeah, nice
in one
recap.
Episode. Yeah.
But we're going to end this like we always do, and that's with our Amiibo News speed round. So as always, we pose questions to our Twitter audience about what they want to know from us, and we're going to answer some of these at random, and hopefully most of them are appropriate.
We'll read the appropriate
Nah,
ones.
I just want to go through, no filter whatsoever.
Oh, gosh.
So any speculation if Star Fox will have an Amiibo? How about a 3-pack? This is from Calway5 on Twitter. I'm guessing there's going to be a Star Fox line. I still think we're going to see some sort of like R-Wing support. I would love to see something where you could like build an Amiibo and then like scan that thing into your game.
Yeah.
Like, that would be amazing if you could like build your own R-Wing. Kind of like the gummy ships that they had in Kingdom Hearts, if you guys remember that at all. I would love to see something like that, but I think we're going to see a peppy Amiibo at some point too.
Yeah.
Because we already have Falco, we already have Fox. Maybe Slippy would be amazing too. I'd like to see a Slippy
You mentioned
Amiibo.
Slippy a lot, yeah.
So I think there might be. What do you think?
Oh, go ahead, Lauren.
Okay, I'm not as familiar with Star Fox as you are, but I think it's very possible. I actually think that you were right, spot on with the Star Fox Zero release, and that we would see a bit more of a lineup, and maybe somewhere closer to the release date, whenever that is, sometime down the road. I know, sometime down the road, sometime. But yeah, go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, I think that's part of the reason for the delay of the game. Not the entire reason, but I think that did have something to do with it, was them trying to make sure that they will have Amiibo ready to go day one when this game launches.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next one from and this is not me like making fun of anybody, at Oblivious Idiots. That's Oblivious, not
Underscore
Oblivious.
idiot. Yes.
It's not, now that Shulk and Company got shown on the Toys R Us system, do you think we're going to be seeing all exclusivity for Amiibos dispel? Good question, Josh.
We haven't seen Target's exclusives come up anywhere else. So I think Target is throwing a lot of money at Nintendo to keep Rosalina and Dr. Mario. What other exclusives?
Jigglypuff?
Jigglypuff. Keep them, especially Rosalina. I think they're trying to hold on to Rosalina as long as they possibly can. But eventually these deals will wear off, and we'll see them poof, gone.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm thinking I think it's kind of systematic at this point, why we saw the ones that we saw become no longer exclusives. And this is my theory. We have Pokken Tournament coming out, so we want Lucario and we want Greninja. We want those everywhere because those two are going to be compatible with Pokken Tournament. Shulk, because Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, Xenoblade Chronicles X, is coming out in December. So I'm assuming that one is going to be compatible maybe in some way, shape, or form with that game. I know the game's out in Japan and it doesn't support it, but who knows? Maybe it's going to support it in some way, shape, or form in the US. I think they said there's going to be minor changes in the US version, so who knows? Could happen. So I'm guessing maybe that's one of the reasons why we're seeing some of these exclusivity deals ending. I'm thinking when we maybe get closer to maybe an Earthbound 2 or another 3, whatever you want to call it. If that ever comes out, maybe we'll see Ness kind of pop up, elsewhere.
Yeah.
If we see another game like Mario Galaxy 3 come out, maybe we'll see Rosalina, lose the exclusivity deal as well.
It's important to note that you've never seen any sort of markings on the packaging themselves as being store exclusives. Like going back to Skylanders, Toys R Us has a line of variants for Skylanders that are called legendary figures. They are only at Toys R Us, only ever at Toys R Us, and on the box they say, can only be found at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
So without those markings on the packaging, I say it will be fair game eventually for all of them.
I think so too. Except for I think Gold Mario is going to end up being a Walmart only thing. I remember seeing not too long ago they had like the Gold Amiibo series little crest that's on it, and it said exclusive at Walmart. So I'm wondering if the Gold Amiibos are only going to be at Walmart. I'm surprised we haven't seen another Gold Amiibo in a while. So,
me too. I really thought they were going to take advantage of that because it's so simple. You just do a repaint on an already existing figure.
Yeah, next year, maybe at the end of this year. I would have loved to see that as a Club Nintendo gift, but nope.
Gold Villager for Amiibo Festival.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh, that would be
Dude,
really sharp.
You'd see the fanboys' heads explode.
Well, don't you unlock a gold statue in Happy Home Designer?
Yep, if you scan it in.
Yeah.
And it's huge, too, by the way.
Yeah, when you place it, it's like a huge... you did that in your front lawn somewhere.
Yeah, I did it in some stupid animal's yard.
Wow. But yeah, it's
I don't
like a
take
centerpiece.
Any care whatsoever in my homes that I make.
That's really sad.
I remember they wanted this one kangaroo wanted a baby's room.
Oh, yeah.
So all I did is I made everything black. I put a crib in the middle of the room and I surrounded it with skeletons.
He used the dungeon interior.
Yeah, that one. That's how I roll.
It was very very appropriate.
What else we got? All right. Hey there, Amiibo Jason. My question is, what are your thoughts on Metal Gear Solid 5? That's a good question. I'm playing it. It's not bad. Yes, I do have a PS4. God help me. Metal Gear Solid 5 is, I don't take the game too seriously. I kind of just run around and do whatever I want. But it's a sandbox game. That's what you do.
Yep.
I think we should answer this one because it's more of an opinion-related question.
Should we say the name on this one? At level 69 Care Bear?
Yes, that's the name. But it's I like the question. It is, what is your favorite Animal Crossing card? Jason, what's yours?
So.
This is where it gets real.
There is a chicken. His name is Goose. When we were doing our first unboxings of these cards, we had the Japanese ones, and I could not read it, so I just called them Cluxon.
The name has stuck since, and he talks about Cluxon all the time.
Cluxon is my white whale. I've been trying to. I have bought so many packs looking for Cluxon, the U.S. version, and I've yet to find one. So I finally went on Twitter today and begged somebody to send me one. I know his name is Goose, but he's always Cluxon to me. If somebody wants to take a Goose card, somebody that's amazing with graphic design and replace the name with Cluckson, I will love you forever.
That's Cluckson.
Cluckson. Cluckson.
He took great care into thinking of that name while unpackaging the Amiibo cards.
I have the Japanese version in my hand right now. I love Cluckson to death. He's amazing.
Are you tearing up a little bit?
I need it. I need it really bad.
Josh, I know your fiance is the one that's collecting the cards, but do you happen to have a favorite?
Probably a toss up between DJ KK and Kabuki. Kabuki looks awesome.
Kabuki is one of my favorite villagers of all time.
Yeah.
So
I can see why. I think mine would be Digby. Has to be Digby. I'm obsessed with Digby. I can't wait till the figure's released. And my other favorites, I love Cherry a lot. I can't wait until Meringue and Pico are released. Those are my dreamies, my ACNL dreamies.
There you go. Let's do 2 more.
Okay.
So somebody asked, will I keep collecting Amiibo when the Super Smash Bros. Line is over? Oh, yeah. Yeah. 100%. The Amiibo I like the most are not Smash Bros. Amiibo.
Yeah.
So Shovel Knight's amazing. Yoshis are amazing. I have all 3 of the Yarn Yoshis in my hands right now. I love them to death. Mega Yarn Yoshi, awesome. I cannot wait to see what they do with Zelda when that comes out, because I know they will, because they love money and I like to give it to them. So yes, 100%, I'm going to keep collecting until the day they stop making these things. Lauren?
Try to think. Yeah, I am very selective with what the Amiibo I collect. I admire Jason's collection because he has every single Amiibo released to date. With me, there is no reason why I would, I guess, start collecting all of them for just money's sake. So I'll just keep collecting the ones that I feel like I need. How about you, Josh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm all in. 100%. Yeah. I want more Splatoon characters. Badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, do we get paid to do the newscast? No. If you want to send us some money, we'd take it.
Yeah, right. We do this for fun and because we like connecting with other people through such an amazing hobby.
Well, the newscast was technically born after I was on Josh's podcast, Toys for Gamescast, and I'm like, I can do that. Oh. So that's how the Amiibo Newscast was born.
Oh.
And you've done it quite well.
You have.
It's no Toys for Gamescast. I have to admit that. I don't have IGN on my show.
That's true. But you have Lauren. I mean,
I do have Lauren. I guess that's a consolation.
I guess, man, I'm a consolation, seriously? They get Brian Altano, and you're stuck with Lauren.
We had 8-Bit Eric. Episode 1, baby.
Woo!
Shut it down. We got P2.
Oh.
All right, one more.
Okay.
Will we be getting Japanese Rob?
You didn't get
I'll tell the story.
You didn't get to tell your story, so that's why I pointed this one out to you.
So, Play Asia, your mobile site doesn't work. Fix it. I tweeted it out. And everybody that I tweeted it out to, they were all like, I got it. Thank you so much. And I'm on my phone like, why aren't you working? And it would not get in my cart. It was definitely still in stock. And I missed out on Japanese Rob. And it hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt a little bit.
There was a little bit of rage.
I was a little upset. Wasn't too happy about missing it, but I took to eBay and I ended up buying one that way.
You did?
What else am I going to do?
Well, I knew you were talking about it, but I didn't think you were just going to do it so quickly.
Oh, yeah. I'm very impulsive.
Yes.
I don't know if you know that about me.
Yes. Middle name.
So, somebody asked, Jason, who's your waifu? That's funny. Jason is Basin, a.k.a. my waifu.
That's Bobby. Shout out to Bobby. He's one of our followers, and he always gives us really great, just fun tweets, great insightful tweets, and helps us get some news once in a while, and we really appreciate his help.
Bobby, to answer your question, you are my waifu.
Oh, that's really sweet.
So thank you. You'll love that. But that's it. That's it for the speed round, and that's it for episode 21 of the Amiibo Newscast. Who knows? Maybe we'll actually come back next week and do an episode instead of waiting 2 or 3 weeks.
Who knows? It's up in the air.
We have so many cool things coming, guys.
Yes.
Again, look on our website. If you're in any way, shape, or form interested in Skylanders, we have an amazing deal coming up on Friday. We're going to be streaming a lot more coming up soon. One thing we're going to be doing that we've never done before is we are going to be doing streaming of games that we both love. I want to stream in its entirety Skyward Sword with Lauren because she has never played it, and it's my favorite Zelda game of all time. Don't hate me. The game is amazing. It's underrated.
Really?
It's underrated.
I'm a big fan of other Zelda games, so we'll see how this plays out.
Skyward Sword rocks, by the way.
Interesting.
I love Skyward Sword.
Okay.
Seriously,
I don't
best
have
story.
I don't have an opinion, so I'm going in open-minded.
I am a very story-driven kind of guy, and the Skyward Sword story is my favorite of all time. I mean, Zelda is not like a full-fledged princess.
Yeah.
She is like a normal human being, and I love that. I love that about her.
That is cool.
So, very cool
earthy.
game.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be doing a lot more streaming coming up soon. So if you're interested, you can find us essentially on our website, nintendoinquirer.com. But Josh, before we go, where can we find you and all of your amazing stuff?
Over on Twitter, we are at Toys for Games, all spelled out. Or you can check our website, toysforgames.com.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Lauren, where can we find you and your shenanigans?
Me and my sugary corner of the world, which I know you like hearing so much.
I'm rolling my eyes very hard right now.
I inhale sugar on a daily basis. It's so good. You can find me on Twitter at Happily Candied, and my website, my personal website, is linked in my profile.
And remember, you can find us on Twitter at Amiibo News and at Nintendo INQ. Our website is nintendoinquirer.com. You can find me and my personal, whatever you want to call it, shenanigans, crap, ranting at Amiibo Jason, at Amiibo Jason. Usually I just use that to beg for Amiibo cards I need at this point. So,
Cluxon.
Dude, I had like 5 people offer me Cluxon
That's
like
very
almost
sweet.
immediately.
Very
So
sweet.
thank you for those giving me Cluxon, aka Goose. But we'll be back hopefully in the next week or so with episode 22. Josh, again, thank you for coming on. Josh, you're going to be streaming with us, by the way, I believe, with Skylanders.
That's the plan.
That's going to be good stuff.
I'm so psyched for this. I'm excited.
See, it's on the newscast now. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Legally binding. See, I tricked you.
No pressure.
None at all.
Oh, have a good night or good morning, depending on when you're listening to this, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Yay, we did it. Everybody can swear now.
Yeah.
Fudge.
Oh, so close.
It's so important that it echoes.
You know, I'm keeping all that in. I'm just going to censor it.
No!
I'm dead serious. Oh, I'm doing it.
Don't do it.